After opening its season 2-2 on the West Coast, the Texas baseball team has their home opener. Texas Tuesday right here at UFCU Dish Falk Field, beautiful Austin, Texas. The Horns debut their team to Austin next. Welcome to Austin, Texas. You could not ask for better weather for a home opener. It is Texas Tuesday as Texas A&m Corpus Christi is in town to take on the 22nd ranked Texas Longhorns for the home opener of the 2014 season. We welcome you inside the booth. Kevin Dunn alongside lifetime Longhorn College Baseball Hall of Famer Greg Swindell. Zeke, you were out there in Berkeley for Texas in the 2-2 start. 6 errors in the first 2 games. They were clean the next 2. What stood out and what should Texas fans look for today?
Well, that's exactly what stood out, Kevin. The first 2 games were sloppy. They got better each game of that series. Tonight, they want to get more arms out there. Blake Goins is going to start for the Longhorns tonight. Get him a few innings, get some more arms in there to get ready for that big series against Stanford this weekend.
As for Texas A&m Corpus Christi, they are also 2-2 as they'll be taking on Blake Goins for his first start of his career. Scott Malone pretty confident in the pitching, but he's not really sure what kind of lineup he's going to have out there.
Well, that's what Corpus Christi is going to work on tonight. Their running game, get some good at-bats into these guys. The arms are there. They need to get that bat going. The first 15 games of each season, each team is trying to feel out where they want to go. Junior college players coming in, not sure if they can play Division I baseball yet. Well, tonight, get some quality at-bats, get some good at-bats against Texas.
So we're going to find out more about these teams. Tyler Ware, one of the stars, coming up on Texas Tuesday. We're going to take a look back at the Cal series as Texas split that. Also preview Stanford as the Cardinal are coming to town Friday. We're also going to hear from UT players about getting to Omaha here on Texas Tuesday.
Because I've grown up a Longhorn my whole life. Watching the Longhorns go to the College World Series, it just became a dream of mine.
Okay.
Texas A&m Corpus Christi Islanders and your Texas Longhorns. First for the Islanders, the season record so far 18-2. And first, 13. Second base, Cody Stevens. Stevens batting first. Batting second, number 2, left fielder Jordan Lee. Lee batting second. Batting third, number 23, right fielder Tyler Ware. Ware batting third. Batting cleanup, number 17, center fielder Kyle Danforth. Danforth batting fourth. Batting fifth is number 8, the shortstop. Gibson batting fifth. Batting sixth was number 19, designated hitter Tony Lopez. Lopez, designated hitter number 6, batting seventh. Number 12, third baseman Brandon Tierney, batting seventh. Batting eighth, number 24, first baseman Frankie Sellis. Sellis is batting eighth. And running out number 7, catcher Russell Long. Long catcher batting ninth. Pitcher for the Islanders, number 5, left-hander Trevor Welch. Welch in the owner. And now, the Wingstop starting lineup for your Texas Longhorns. Season record 22 batting first with the number 8 single baseman Brooks Harlow. Batting second, number 2, center fielder Clark Aiton. Batting third, number 9, shortstop C.J. Villaosa. Batting fourth, number 42, your first baseman Casey Clemens. Batting fifth is number 5, third baseman Andy McGuire. Batting sixth, the designated hitter, number 33, Jeremy Montanaro. Batting seventh, number 1, the catcher Trace Aurora. Batting eighth, the right fielder number 14, Dan Johnson. Batting ninth is number 50, left fielder Zane Burris. Pitching for the Hawks will be the right fielder, at right hand, number 28, Blake Goins. As this time, please remove your hats and stand as we are aware. If you stand in the building, that is the flag of our nation.
And fans, please remain standing and join you.
Is
After opening the season on the West Coast, the 2014 UT team returns to Austin, ready for its home opener. Baseball's finally back. It's Texas A&m Corpus Christi and UT next on LHN. Welcome to UFCU Dish Falk Field and a beautiful Austin, Texas. It is Texas Tuesday as Texas A&m Corpus Christi is in town to take on the 22nd ranked Texas Longhorns right here at the Dish. Wind blowing out to the left, and you couldn't have any better weather for the home opener. Welcome you inside the booth, Kevin Dunn, alongside College Baseball Hall of Famer, lifetime Longhorn Greg Swindell. Greg, you were out on the West Coast as Texas took on Cal for their first series a weekend ago. They split 2-2. What stood out, and what should Texas fans be looking for tonight?
Well, what stood out was how they improved each game of that series. First two were real sloppy, especially the first one. Each game there was more improvement. The starting pitching was good. Well, tonight, what Texas needs to do is get some more arms out there. Blake Goins is going to start for Texas tonight. Get him a few innings. Get some more of the guys out there out of the bullpen so they can find out who's going to come in after the starter to get to that back end of the bullpen.
We're going to see a lot of Texas starters or a lot of Texas pitchers as Blake Goins may go only 2 or 3. As for Texas A&m Corpus Christi, take a look at this team. Scott Malone, the TCU grad. He knows he's going to have some pretty good pitching, or at least he's confident in the pitching, but it's the other part he's a little curious about.
Yes, he has. He's got his arms ready. We knew that Trevor Belichick was going to start this game this year. He's their best pitcher coming from last year. But tonight, what they want to do, they want to get the guys on base, use their speed. Coach Malone says they have good speed, but they have some junior college players that aren't too sure about Division I baseball or how good they can really be at this level. They're going to get some at-bats tonight against a quality Texas staff.
Both teams finding their identity here on Texas Tuesday. We still have a lot more to come up, including a look back at the Cal series. Said Texas split that, but made some progress, and they better be ready because guess who's coming in town this weekend? It's Stanford. We're going to preview that series and also hear from the UT players about getting to Omaha on Texas Tuesday.
I came to Texas because I've grown up a Longhorn my whole life. Watching the Longhorns go to the College World Series, it just became a dream of mine.
Texas Baseball on Longhorn Network. Texas Baseball on Longhorn Network is brought to you by the Callaway House Austin, the premier off-campus freshman residence, now leasing for fall 2014.
Welcome back to Austin, Texas. Kevin Dunn, Greg Swindell. We're getting ready for Texas and Texas A&m Corpus Christi. The Islanders are coached by, well, he's always smiling, one of the best guys out there. Scott Malone played at TCU, 5th postseason appearance in 7 seasons. He's done a nice job, and he likes his lineup, unsure of it, but one guy he is sure about can really rake.
He's very sure about that man right there in the 3-hole, the right fielder, Tyler Ware. He's one of those junior college kids he was talking about, unaware of how good he can really be at this level. Well, he's only 6 for 10, 600 on the young season.
They're going to be facing a young freshman pitcher with a lot of talent. Blake Goins, 5'11", 205-pound freshman from Pearland, went to Pearland High School, was 14-2 with an ERA of 1.80. His senior season has faced one batter and hit him, so this first batter in Cody Stevens, we'll see what the next pitch looks like. In there for a strike, his first strike of his collegiate career.
That's one thing I wanted to be able to maybe interpret to Blake before this game was just remember to breathe. Sometimes he can get out there and get a little excited. Skip Johnson likes that in a pitcher. He'd said he'd rather pull back on the reins a little bit than have one that you would have to whip and get into shape out there.
When he was 95 late in the playoffs, so he really can climb up there. It's important that he does not overthrow, as you see the 89-93.
Well, that's exactly right. And when he starts to overthrow, the ball's up in the zone, which in that count right there, you want it to be up. First strikeout for Blake Goins, so a good start for him. But once he does start to overthrow, like I said, you can fly open and the ball can be up in the zone. But he has better command when his velocity is a little bit lower.
One thing Scott Malone talked about, he said, now that we're facing Texas, the velocity should be up. He was curious to see how the timing was going to be as Jordan Lee steps up to the plate. Jordan Lee's a guy hitting .067. The Islanders are 2 for 2, but they really like this junior. He's a guy who just needs to get on base. Lee hit .307 a season ago. And there's for a strike. Just off the plate, and Goins really working away here to Lee.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Right now, you want to get comfortable early in this game. Blake Goins did that with the first hitter striking him out, and right here, this is a man you don't want to put on. He can really run and good play at first.
Clemens, can Goins get there? No, not in time, and you see the speed from Jordan Lee. Is that a ball maybe Casey Clemens should allow Brooks Marlowe to get to?
It was a little wide over there at first, but as a first baseman, you're taught to go get the baseball. I think you'll see right here where Blake Goins was you can see that little hesitant right there. Maybe Blake Goins thinking that Casey was not going to go for that ball. As a pitcher, you need to get over there regardless of where the ball's hit.
First hit of the game.
But that slight hesitation is what cost, plus the speed of Jordan Lee getting down the line.
Lee was 9 of 12 stealing bags a season ago. As Tyler Ware steps up to the plate. They really like Tyler Ware, JUCO transfer. Relying on him, went 6 for 10 against Pan Am over the weekend, slugged .900. Junior from Omaha.
Looked very good in their first 4 games this weekend. I'm sure he'd like to be right back where he was born.
This ball is ripped to right center. I'm gonna go, and Lee actually stumbles. He's gonna have to get back, and Texas may have a shot at him. No, they don't. That's how fast Lee is. He was going around second, was gonna take third, stumbled, got up and said, I'll still take it.
Yeah, that's a ball not hit too hard to right center. Ben Johnson kind of lays back on it a little bit. Looks like, I mean, right here you'll see him wait for that second hop, and it kind of jumps up on him, bites him a little bit, and with the speed of Lee, I could think that could possibly be an error on Ben Johnson, but because he did stop at second, he was not going to third.
So Ware is on base. Johnson has played some left, some right, still adjusting to the corner outfield spots, but a good shot for the Islanders to get on the board with Kyle Danford up.
You never want to run yourself out of an inning with Tyler Ware and your 4-hole hitter come right now with Danford. But we'll see if they tried something with the freshman on the mound, Blake Goins, maybe rattle him a little bit.
And he does take off. That's fouled out of play. Danford had a good series over Pan Am. With 571, was 8 for 14. But still one of those guys that Coach Malone is curious to see the next 20 games, how he adjusts to it.
Yeah, that's exactly what these games are for, regardless of which school, what level you're at. You want to get your team in the best position to win when the conference season starts.
Trace Barrera going over some signs. Barrera and Jeremy Montalbano have been platooning at the catcher spot. while the other has been DHing. Barrera, one of the very talented freshmen we're going to talk about here on Texas Tuesday. Two and one. Something you talked about with Goins, you said it's important that he breathes.
Well, I mean, as a freshman especially, you can get caught up in the moment. And that's one thing, it always relaxes you. I mean, if you take a deep breath, regardless of freshman, junior, senior, it's going to help you slow the game down a little bit. And that's what sometimes Blake needs, is to slow it down a little bit.
Good hitters count coming up to a pretty good hitter. Third to first, nothing happening.
That's one thing Texas pitchers over the weekend in Cal. Cal didn't attempt a stolen base, so Texas pitchers did a good job of holding runners.
This is hit to center. Coming in is Mark Payton, catches it on the run. Here comes a play at the plate. Barrera with the tag, got him. Lee not happy about it at all, but the Texas bench is fired up. Mark Payton made the move from right to center, and so far so good, Zeke.
Well, I told you over the weekend that Mark Payton probably saved 4 runs during that series in Cal by charging the ball, getting to it, and making strong throws to home plate. This is just a great jump and a perfect throw. Maybe a little high, but in the air. Barrera catches it nicely, puts the tag on him. Whew. You're throwing out a speedy runner right there. Good call. You see his hand was in the air. Tress got that glove just under his hand. You'll see it right there.
Looks to be a good call by Darren Steers. Obviously, bang, bang, much better angle here. That is as close as it gets. Our guy's doing a great job of getting an angle. But what a job by Texas to get out of that inning without giving up a run. They did give up some runs. As we take a look back at the Cal series and how Texas opened up a week ago. They went out to Berkeley, and first 2 games, well, Mark Payton was good the whole time. Mark Payton 9 for 17, 529 batting average, but really it was the defense that let him down in the first 2.
Yeah, the first 2 games it was throwing and catching the ball, back to the basics. You fielding bunts and throwing the ball away.
He allowed 7 unearned runs in the first 2 games, 6 errors in those first 2 games, and they were clean, no errors in the last 2. And then, of course, the Texas newcomers, not freshman. Lucas Schiraldi is a kind of like a freshman, but he's a junior college player, and he looked really good, did he not?
Freshman here at the university. I mean, as far as his first year here, he looked very good. There were a lot of scouts in the stands on Saturday with him and Dylan Peters pitching. Good series by the starting pitching. Good series overall by the Texas team. And like I said in the opening, they got better each game and improved, and that's what that man really liked about his team over the weekend.
That's what Augie said. He said we got better each game. That's what we wanted. Augie in his 18th season here on the 40 acres, of course, turned Cal State Fullerton into a great name. As we take a look at this lineup, Texas needs more offense. Well, Mark Payton is the guy that they're going to be leaning on.
They're going to lean on him a lot, and one thing about Mark Payton, he accepts that. He came back his senior year to play for a championship team and be a leader and be a captain. The first series of the season, he proved that, and with that throw in the top of the first.
They're going to be facing the ace for the Islanders, Trevor Belichick. Belichick, the lefty, a season ago, 9-2, 3.01 ERA. Did not pitch in the UT Pan Am series because of team rules. Coach Malone said it was just over the line. It was nothing serious, but you got to have team rules, so he should be fresh to go. His first pitch to Brooks Marlowe is in there for a strike.
Yeah, he was going to start the first game of the season, maybe go 3 or 4 innings tops, but he was always going to pitch in this game, so they were going to have him ready. Just had a little hinder in the way.
Yeah, and like I said, Coach Malone said it was nothing too big. You saw Southland Pitcher of the Year and first team all Southland Conference. I expect a lot of good things out of him. 1-1. What about Brooks Marlowe, a guy his junior year now, only 3 hits off lefties his freshman year, got a lot better his sophomore year. Now it's time to take it to that next level.
He has, and to me, since he's been on campus, been a second baseman here at UT, he has improved each year, and that's what you want to do. His maturity level at second base, his maturity level at the plate. I mean, right now he's a leadoff hitter for the University of Texas. He's taking it to 2-2. He's letting the guys on the bench and on deck see pitches, and doesn't get fooled by a 2-2 pitch right there. Fouls one straight back.
You feel like he's much more comfortable with 2 strikes now.
Well, yeah, I mean, he's cut his swing down a little bit. And I've said that for 2 years. He needs to do that. He hit the 2 home runs in his very first game against Duke, his first 2 at bats, and kind of got into where he thought he was going to be a home run hitter, and he's just matured in that aspect as far as trying to go the other way and cutting his swing down with 2 strikes.
If you're named after Brooks Kieschnick, you want to be a home run hitter.
You want to be, and he had the swing of Brooks Kieschnick as well.
Here's the 3-2 from Belichick. It's going to be out of play.
And we talk about taking good at bats. A leadoff hitter of the game can probably take the best at bat by seeing a lot of pitches. You'll see Belichick trying to climb the ladder here with a fastball, and Brooks Marlowe able to foul it off. So far, he's seen what 6, 7 pitches in this first at bat.
Here's the 8th pitch. And this is hit very hard. Going to be a tough play for Stevens, and he makes it. Cody Stevens does a lot of good things well, and one of them is play second base. That was a really hard hit ball.
It was a very hard hit ball. The only thing you can do is try to backhand it. He does, and luckily for him, he catches a break. It stays right within his reach, and he's able to throw out Brooks Marlowe.
Brings up Big 12 Player of the Week, Mark Payton. Payton, just red hot. Comes in hitting .529. Of course, typical Mark. Going to try that out first.
Well, you see a left-hander on the mound. You take a look down at third, see where the third baseman is. He saw a lot of pitches that to Brooks Marlowe. He's throwing him away. But also what that does now will bring that third baseman even further in. And Mark has good back control, and he can get a lot of hits in that hole in between short and third.
15 total bases for Mark. So he slugged .882 in the 4-game series at Berkeley. Counts even at 1.
This is a special night, I think, for Mark Payton to come back his senior year. It'll be his last home opener as a Texas Longhorn. He's the captain. He's the leader of this team. And he not only, by the way he plays in the field, he does it in the dugout. He does it in the clubhouse, the locker room. He's very vocal.
1-2 to left. Jordan Lee chasing it. And that's a fair ball. He can't get it. Payton is thinking about 3, and he's going to try and take it. The throw, not in time. Well, Mark Payton had 8 triples a season ago. Getting off to another hot start.
Unbelievable. This ball gets up. The flags are flying a little bit out to left field, but I told you Mark Payton can go to left field. He just puts the barrel of the bat on it. It got up in the breeze and kept carrying. Not sure if Jordan Lee thought that ball would travel that far, but just gives it an effort at the end. Plus, you're barreling down right on that fence. Good effort by Jordan Lee, but also by Mark Payton getting out of the box, thinking 3. He can see the plays in front of him, see where Jordan Lee is with the ball. Thought he had a shot, and he made it.
The 10th hit in this young season, and already 2nd triple this year. I mentioned he had 8 a year ago as C.J. Hinojosa steps up to the plate. Right back up the middle. It's 1-0 Texas.
You can see C.J. right there. He wasn't trying to do too much with this pitch. He's just trying to maybe even hit a ground ball, and that's what you're wanting to do. You're wanting to get those runners in from third base when they're in scoring position. CJ just drops his hand, stays inside it, and found a hole up the middle.
We've seen CJ when he swings out of his shoes. This was not that CJ. You're exactly right.
You can see right when that ball, he just kind of dropped those hands. He was just trying to hit a ground ball to the opposite side of the infield and get Mark Payton in, but he was able to find a hole up the middle.
So first run for Texas here at UFCU Disch-Falk Field in the 2014 season, and that brings up Casey Clemens, first baseman. That name sounds familiar. Yes, his dad is the Rockets, 7-time Cy Young Award winner. And you felt like he had the best at-bats at Berkeley. Why?
Well, I've said it. I've gone to a lot of practices and watched Casey in inter squads, and I didn't realize that when the lights came on, this young man, I mean, right here, he's 2-0 right now with a tough lefty on the mound. He sees the ball very well out of pitcher's hands, and he doesn't. I guess he's so laid back. He's very confident, and he sees the ball well out of pitcher's hands. And he took some deep counts. Didn't get too many hits, but took some good at bats. See right there, that's a 2-1 pitch. You can be hacking at that, but he's going to take it, and maybe this time get a pitch where he can drive over there, get the first baseman holding CJ on. He got a big hole over there in between first and second. Might even see some action right here.
He had 3 walks at Cal. That leads the team as CJ gets back. Casey also pitched in high school and probably will pitch at some point in his career here at UT, but was having some shoulder arm issues, so they kind of sat him down. Will probably not pitch this year, but they feel like his left-handed bat will be good, as CJ Hinojosa is nailed at second base for the second out.
That's just CJ is anticipating Trevor Belichick lifting. He takes off. That's one thing pitchers can do. You give even a left-hander, you can give a runner on first different looks. CJ takes off right there, and tough things for pitchers to do sometimes is to step off. You want to throw over there, or you might balk.
3-1 now to Clemens.
Yeah, Casey had the surgery, didn't throw at all in the fall, and just started swinging a little bit towards the end of fall. So he's come a long way with that surgery.
3-1, fouled away. Seen Texas already see a lot of pitches. It's nice to get that run in the first inning, but you've also made Trevor work.
Oh, sure. And it's each hitter has had a quality at bat, or a good at bat.
And that's strike 3, caught him looking. Casey tried to see if he could steal first base, but Trevor Belichick able to get out, but not after Texas gets a run home. Yeah, we're good.
That play would him close home.
Trevor Belichick able to work out of the first inning, does give up that 1 run, but probably happy that it was only 1 run. Let's take a look at the keys to the game, powered by the all-new 2014 Chevy Silverado. What are the keys for the Islanders to come in here and get a W?
Well, like you said, they have new guys, they have junior college kids come in here and get some at-bats in this stadium against a quality Texas staff. And handle Texas small ball. You know that Texas is going to try to bunt, put pressure on Corpus. They need to be able to field their position, and don't be gun shy. We haven't seen that so far. They got a couple hits in the first inning. Gun shy meaning don't be intimidated by these surroundings coming in to play the University of Texas.
Here's Scott Maloney, was fun to talk to beforehand.
He's not very gun shy.
No. Zach Gibson swinging at his second pitch. Andy McGuire is up with it. 2 pitches, 1 out for Blake Goins here in the second inning. Defensively, what did you see from Texas? How did they improve Because clearly they were, the first game they were, as Augie said, we were all over the place and nervous. How did they get better in that series?
I think it is. It just they calmed their nerves. It kind of got to a point the game Friday night to where it was you were waiting on the next guy to make an error, to throw the ball away. Where when that starts to happen and you're in the field, you kind of just want, please don't hit the ball to me. Please don't hit the ball to me. And if it does, please let me catch it. Please let me throw it. And then the next day, the first game Saturday, they got better, and then they got they got comfortable, and the jitters went away. They got a lot of freshmen on the field, and sometimes it just takes a game or two to get comfortable and get the nervousness out.
Dominic Lopez lines out to center. 2 outs here. Well, let's take a look at the difference between those first 2 games. Texas lost the first 2. Lost that second one 2-1. Had a shot maybe, but the last 2 games you can see opponents' unearned runs and the errors. And, well, Texas also got some run scoring. That also helps.
It did. I mean, it was just a total opposites those first 2 games. The second game, or the first game Saturday, it kind of went along where you were thinking, all right, who's going to score late in this game? Who's going to make the play? Cal was able to do that. It was a good, well-pitched game. And then, the rest of the series after that, it was Texas just played very good baseball offensively and defensively.
Brandon Tierney, third baseman, senior from Arlington. Brandon hit .257 a year ago with 2 home runs. I want a little bit more from him at the plate, especially with so many new JUCO guys here. He's a guy who's seen Division I and hit .257 a year ago, and they feel like he's got some potential. But down in the count now, 1-2. Well, we mentioned that Blake Goins may not be going too many innings. There's Josh Sawyer, another freshman, left-hander who Texas signed late. Josh already getting loose. Maybe 3 innings for Blake.
Maybe 3, maybe 2 by each of these young men. You want to get them as many innings as possible, or just so they can get comfortable, because you do have a big series this weekend.
1-2. Tierney will wear that one. Goins mentioned his first batter that he faced against Cal hit the Golden Bear, so it's now 2-hit batsman in his first 2 appearances.
I'd ask Skip what he told Blake. I mean, because a young freshman going in and only facing 1 hitter and hitting him. And Skip said he told him, he tried to put him away with a quality pitch, but made a less quality pitch because he tried to overthrow it. Mm-hmm. He tried to make it break. He tried to make it nasty. And it was a learning experience for Blake Goins. And now, that was the same type thing right there. He was trying to make that pitch do a little too much.
Frankie Salas, Jr. from San Diego. Two outs here in the second inning. It gets in on Frankie. Quickly 0-2. 0-2. What are you looking for here?
With Blake Goins, he commands his breaking ball better than he does his fastball. So right now, I think maybe a breaking ball away or down in the dirt, something where Salas can't get the bat on. But also that high fastball is also tough to lay off. You see right there, Tres Barrera goes out and says, I need some help. The twilight here, it's starting to get where maybe a pop fly, you might not see the ball well.
Marlowe ranging to his right makes that look easy. 4-6 to Hinojosa. Blake Goins through 2. He's looked good. Texas leads 1-0. Texas leading Texas A&m Corpus Christi 1-0 as we head to the bottom of the second. All sorts of kids, families out here, and why not? Beautiful day for baseball for the home opener for the Texas Longhorns. Let's
that was
take a
for
look.
you, Kevin.
That was. Actually, that was for the Hall of Famer with 501 strikeouts, Greg Swindell. The keys to the game whenever you were pitching were just get you on the mound. What are the keys for Texas, powered by the all-new 2014 Chevy Silverado, as Andy McGuire leads off, takes ball one.
Takes ball
Actually
one
takes
right
ball
off the
one
foot.
right off the foot. So that's one key. Get runners on. What are some others?
Get runners on. That's what right there. Quality at bats. We saw every hitter, all 4 hitters in the first inning, take a quality at bat, see pitches, sustain rallies. Well, they did that. They kind of ran themselves out of the first inning. But sustaining rallies meaning get base hits, take quality. You do that by taking quality at bats and catch the ball. In California, the first game, they couldn't catch the ball. It led to 7 earned runs in the series, where they could have taken 3 of 4, because if you don't score first game, you're not going to win anyway.
Yeah.
But they, the errors hurt them just by not catching the ball.
Jeremy Montalbano. You can see Montalbano and also Trace Barrera, maybe with some Jacob Feltz, all catching this year. It looks like Augie wants to get a bunt down to try and maybe get that lead to 2-0.
Yeah, that's one reason you throw consecutive times over to first base. You want to see if Montalbano tips anything as he squares around. Good bunt.
That's a great bunt. Belichick will throw out Jeremy, but he gets his job done. Do not forget, Texas baseball returns to LHN this weekend for a 3-game series against 25th ranked Stanford. It is always a dynamite series when the Horns and Cardinal get together. Friday night 6, Saturday at 2, Sunday at 1. It's Stanford and Texas. Do I need to say anything else? This weekend on Longhorn Network, an early barometer for both teams to find out where they're at nationally.
Yes, sir. I mean, every year, it seems like the past, 5-6 years, Texas and Stanford has played. Texas gone out. They went out there 2 years in a row.
Been swept.
Didn't like it very well. So I'm sure that's in the back of the minds of a lot of the Longhorn players as Stanford comes in this weekend.
We'll preview that series a little bit later on in the game as Trace Barrera steps to the plate. Augie told me Barrera really in the first 2 games you could tell was over anxious, had too much energy, but he felt like his at-bats were a lot better in the next 2 games.
He did take some better at bats. He's still looking to get those RBIs and get those base hits, and he was. You could the dugouts and things there in Berkeley. You could tell, you could see the players. So he was frustrated when he came back to the bench, just trying too hard. He had runners in scoring position a couple times, hit into a couple double plays. That's just by wanting to do too much. And he's too good of an athlete. We know that. And he just was putting too much pressure on himself.
Louisville slugger, first-team All-American catcher as a senior. Nice play by Russell Vaughn.
The slipped out of Belichick's hand a little bit.
Yes, it did. Barrera, one of those guys, though, who those were the guys not ending up on the 40 acres the last couple years, and Texas really won the battle against the Major League Baseball draft, and Barrera is here on campus now.
I think sometimes young men can see, I mean, by going to college, regardless of whether it's University of Texas or Texas A&m Corpus Christi.
This ball's flown to right. Tyler Ware's underneath it will make the grab. Tagging is Andy McGuire.
Much better to come to college than it is if you don't want to go take those bus rides and be in the minor leagues for a while. You come here, get an education, play some quality baseball, learn more baseball. And I think in the Andy McGuire and the Barreras and all these kids, they're starting to believe in it. And that's what's going to change here at Texas. They're getting some very good young freshmen. They got 5 on the field tonight.
Scott Malone going to come out and talk to his left-hander. What do you think this chat's about with the infield?
Well, I mean, you got me. I've never seen it with two outs and a runner on third. It looks like he might be getting on him a little bit, maybe attack. You know, you kind of seem a little complacent out here right now. Yeah, that was more of, hey, let's go. You know, these guys are putting the bat on the ball. You're better than that. I know you are. Maybe being a little too complacent. Scott Malone's going to go out there and let them know about it.
Mentioned the team-high 9 wins for Belichick a season ago. He was tabbed preseason pitcher of the year for the Southland by Collegiate Baseball newspaper. As Ben Johnson steps to the plate. It's low. Ben, a sophomore, right here in Austin, went to Westwood High School.
Ben's shown some pop. He's a very strong, athletic young man, making a shift over to right field now with Zane Gerwitz playing left field. I think you'll see, in my opinion, you'll see this lineup a lot. I think Augie Garrido is going to want to get a little more offense on the field.
There's Gerwitz on deck. This could be a play at the plate, and Belichick is waiting for Andy McGuire. The freshman may be a little bit too aggressive, as ball did not get away from Russell Vaughn as much as Andy McGuire thought. Belichick gets out of it. Texas leads by a run. Austin, Texas, I-35 traffic. It's starting to move now a little bit. This whole city, at least the baseball fans, excited that college baseball's back, and University of Texas with their home openers. We head to the top of the 3rd inning. Blake Goins facing Russell Vaughn, the catcher. They're going to peel the 3rd and say, yeah, Vaughn went around. So, all right.
That's something a young catcher like Barrera's going to have to learn. I mean, if you sell it quick enough, Texas caught a break there.
Matt Martinez said, yep, he went. This is right back to Goins. Easy little flip and 1 out. Let's go back to the end of last inning where Russell Vaughn, you saw the catcher right there. This ball does not get away as far as Andy McGuire thought, but a little closer play at the plate than we thought.
Good play by Belichick, and we'll take a look right in here.
So
I'm not going to be the umpire right there. I mean, a tough call from that spot.
He looked safe from that angle right there. Obviously, the tag and the throw beat him in time. That's one of those, you're out because you're out, right?
Yeah, and it's one thing that Texas players have been working on as well. They've been wanting to read the ball in the dirt, but I think it's more from first base and second base, not trying to get home on that situation. On the old turf, that ball's going all the way to the on-deck circle.
Right.
This new turf, the ball slowed down. A good play by pitcher and catcher right there. But on first base and second base now, they're reading the ball in the dirt, so if they see it come out of the pitcher's hand, it's going to be in the dirt. They're wanting them to be aggressive on the base path.
But like you said, more first and second base,
yes,
because this team, as you talked with Augie beforehand, does not have tons of team speed. The McGuires, Barreras of the world, but he likes their IQ baseball-wise, and they feel like they can take some extra bags here and there. And yeah, you will see some hit and run. As welcome you here at Texas Tuesday, home opener for Augie Garrido and the 2014 Longhorns. Kevin Dunn alongside college baseball Hall of Famer Greg Swindell. 2-2 is upstairs. Cody Stevens struck out his first time up, but they expect a lot of good things from the senior from Concord, California. The 3-2 goes right after him, and Stevens makes him pay for it. Base hit for the Islanders with 1 out.
I think now you have a couple lefties coming up. Blake was sent out this inning, maybe extend him just a little bit more, but that fastball's belled high. Cody Stevens puts a good swing on it, drives it up the middle.
3-2, make him hit it though, right, Zeke?
Got to make him hit it. You don't want to give anyone a free pass. I learned that very early in my age. My father always used to tell me that. He used to make me run more.
When did that stop?
Then I started making myself run.
Jordan Lee up. Jordan got an infield single his first time up. Hit the ball to the right side. Casey Clemens made a nice play to get over there, but Lee showed his speed, and well, he thinks he probably should have had the first run of the game because he was thrown out at home. Keeping an eye on Stevens.
Yeah, that was a funny little at bat for him. I mean, by the way, he made it to first by Blake Goins being late, and then he tripped when he was going to third base and stopped and went back and then got thrown out at home plate.
You're right. Out of every base, home plate was the one that was actually the least closest, probably. But we stand where we are here in the top of the third, 1-0, and Lee trying to get the Islanders on the board. Wondering about Stevens at first base. He led the Islanders with 19 stolen bases a season ago. It was 19 for 27. Skip's going to come out and talk with the freshman right-hander. So far, though, you got to be pretty pleased with what you've seen from Goins.
Very pleased. I mean, so far, and even in inter squads, I mean, he might be a little more extended right now. He's at about the 40 pitch count in a game situation with a new opposing team. He has a chance right now to show his coach. I mean, this is what Texas is wanting out of this game tonight. Give kids more experience. Get some freshmen in there. See how they can throw. He's thrown very well. He's got behind a few hitters, and like we said, we don't want to walk people. We'll put them on base, make them hit it. Scott Malone knows that runs are of a premium here in Austin. I wouldn't be surprised right now. You got a contact hitter, even though his average isn't very high right now, and Jordan Lee. Got a good runner on the first. You got a hole over there on the right side. Maybe see a little action right here.
Lee hit 307 a year ago. He can make contact. Runner does not go. It's 3-0. Texas has had the bullpen working. We saw Josh Sawyer earlier, the freshman lefty. Showing bunt, but he was obviously just taking a pitch, and we'll take a 4-pitch walk. Is that it for the freshman?
Take a look at him. I mean, Skip Johnson not moving right now. I think he could stick with him right here, but now he's going to give his left-hander in the bullpen a couple more pitches, and that'll be it for Blake Goins.
Well, Blake Goins' first outing here in Austin. First 2 innings, a good one. Maybe ran out of a little bit of steam here in the third.
Well, that's when Blake starts to get into some trouble. He gets the ball up. That's when he might have been trying to overthrow there in the third inning. Maybe, you know, like I say, do a little too much. His fastball is up. He has a better, more command of his breaking ball.
We'll be back. Give you the numbers on the new Texas pitcher right after this.